Hello and welcome to FPS Coach. My name is Rambo, and in this video I want to talk about the sitting position of professional FPS gamers and give my thoughts on the advantages and disadvantages. But before we do, I gotta give a big thank you to NC Gaming for hooking me up with their Pro 500 series gaming chair. I'm currently sitting on it right now, and it's certainly a huge upgrade from what I've been using before. It's got all the adjustable features you'd want in a gaming chair, and I especially like the smooth and soft outer material, and the padded back and neck rest that is included with the chair really helps my posture, and I feel my back is getting better already. If you're interested in upgrading to a gaming chair and want to check out the features for yourself, I'll leave a link in the description box to NC's website. Okay, now onto the video. Our first professional is Rafa, a world-class Quake player who has won over $180,000 in his career and is still actively competing today and regarded as one of the greatest of all time. One thing I must mention about the game Quake is that it's a game requiring raw mechanics in aim and movement. Anyone that's ever played it competitively will also agree. There's literally no randomness in the game except spawning points. It's a game of pure skill. This armrest position keeps his forearm and hand perfectly parallel with the table and mouse pad, which allows him to aim very level in the X and Y axis, and is also a very repeatable position. And you guys know me, I'm always preaching about always trying to repeat your positions so you can continue building your muscle memory in those same feels. If you've never tried this position before, I'd certainly recommend trying it just for the heck of it and see what it feels like, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about with the X and Y axis and the repeatability. The disadvantages to this position: if you're playing a team game and you plan on playing on LAN with your teammates next to you, and it's also very difficult to screen look at both teammates' screens to the left and right. Here's a video recorded in 2007 of Cooler. He's also a world-class Quake player who has earned over $130,000 during his career and is still actively competing today at the age of 33. Although he has now transitioned to more conventional sitting position, he was regarded as one of the best players when this video was recorded. And here's a picture of Cooler as a kid with the same sitting position, and it's cool to see that he was able to transition from a little kid as an amateur and still make it to the pro level with this unorthodox playing style. And here's a picture of Cypher before he transitioned to a conventional position, and he's also regarded as one of the greatest Quake players of all time with over $120,000 in prizes won. I'm not sure the story of how and why these Quake players use this style, but it's very interesting to see how they've become so successful with it with such an unorthodox sitting position. And I've heard a rumor that some of these players were forced to sit like this because of the lack of desk space at the LAN centers, but I'm not entirely sure. I'm also not sure who started this style and who copied who. So if there's anyone watching that does know the story about this particular sitting position, please let me know in the comments because I'm super interested to know. And the last thing I want to mention before we move on to the next sitting position is I just want you guys to keep in mind that, don't be afraid to experiment. Don't be afraid to try things that you've never thought of before, because who knows, you might try a position like this and tweak your arm a certain way or sit a different position, and that might drastically increase the improvement of your aim. Here is JDM, a professional CSGO sniper who played for Team Liquid and Envious and has made around $190,000 in prizes during his career. And no, this is not a pregame photo, this is actually how he sits for all his matches. Again, another player who got used to sitting a certain way and stuck with it all the way to the professional level. If JDM asked me for any coaching tips on the way he sits or try to help him to get better at aiming, I wouldn't tell him a single thing, because he got to the pro level with these positions, and if I asked him to change, I guarantee he would play worse. Here is Allu, another CSGO sniper, and he's had a very impressive career so far, and he's still active with over $350,000 in prize winnings and having played for teams like NIP, FaZe Clan, and ENTS. And as you can see, he's the opposite of JDM with a very forward-leaning position with both his forearms mostly on the table. And one of the advantages of this position is that I do think it's repeatable when you have most of your forearm on the table, because when your forearms level or even or parallel with the table, that feeling is very repeatable. And you'll know if something's off when your forearms aren't parallel. And with the forward lean, you get the mindset of being more into the game or more immersed, if that makes sense. When I experimented with the forward lean position, I did feel like I can concentrate a little bit more on the screen and the crosshair compared to when I'm leaned back. The obvious disadvantage here being that there is more strain on the back, shoulders, and neck with all the added forward weight. And here's Bondik, a CSGO rifler from the CIS region, having played for teams Flipside Tactics and Hellraisers with over $130,000 in prize winnings. And the unique thing about Bondik is that his aiming arm is wrapped around the backside of his monitor, and in order to do this, he has to rotate his chest to the left and lean it into the front edge of the table. And this is a perfect example of what I mean when I say don't be afraid to experiment with your positions and use your intuition and feel to place yourself in positions where you can control the mouse exactly the way you want. Now, I do need to clarify that yes, it is the goal to aim the mouse with accuracy and precision, but you do need to equally consider the health of your posture. If you do have a sitting position that you know is unhealthy for your back, shoulder, and neck, you need to counterbalance that stress with daily stretches and exercises, or else, when you get older, you'll have a hunchback and chronic back pain. If you guys are interested in seeing my personal posture maintenance routine, something that I try to do every single day if I'm not in the gym, let me know in the comments and I'll go ahead and make that for you guys. I'm not a doctor or a physical therapist, so I don't feel qualified to tell you guys how to sit properly. So I've provided links in the description box from qualified experts talking about ideal, healthy sitting positions. And to end the video, I do get asked frequently how to position the monitor, and as you can see from this picture, two extreme examples of close and far monitor positions. The close monitor player is Let1, and his teammate is Nexa from Team Crazy. My advice on monitor position is to use a distance and angle where you can best visually register your crosshair and player models while still being able to see the visual information on the sides of the screen, like radar, health points, ammo available, etc. Everyone has different visual registration abilities, with some people being farsighted while others are nearsighted, and others having stigmatisms and blurry vision. So just like the sitting position, don't be afraid to experiment with different monitor positions. Close, far, medium, high, low, tilted forward, back, all those positions. It's not going to hurt you. Go ahead and do it. Take you a few minutes to try each one out, and who knows, you might find something better than what you're currently using. That does it for this video. I hope it was helpful in some way. If it was, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to stay up to date.